Hey guys, Andrew Esquivel here, back with another review, and today I'm going to be reviewing a set of LED off-road floodlights, courtesy of a company called LionLEDS. Now they sent me over this product to review, and we're going to go over how to do a very basic setup and installation for your vehicle. Now these run off of either 12 volt or 24 volts connections, and quite simply, we're going to be hooking them up in place of my fog lights with an aftermarket mounting system. But let's go over what the product itself comes with, because it doesn't come very much. Now, this is all it comes with. Now, there is this little mounting bracket right here that allows you to place it in various spots. And I want to talk about that really quick, considering that's the first thing we're going to go over. The new set, as you'll see, does not have the little mounting bracket. Now, why am I pointing this out? Because it is kind of a pain in the butt to get it just right, and I'll explain what I mean. So this bracket goes in here in between the fins of the heatsink. Now that's fine, and we've got a few screws that will hold it in place. Now, it's not like you just screw it in and you're good, because you have to get the nut behind the bracket here for the screw. Well, that means you kind of have to drop this little screw in here, kind of fiddle around with it while putting this screw in here after everything's lined up. And you kind of just got to wiggle it and hope you can get it in place and use the Allen wrench that comes with it. And that takes a little while, because getting this in there to sit exactly properly isn't the best design in the world. Granted, once it's in there, it's fine. It's just something I want to bring up right away, so that way you guys aren't caught off guard with this. So yeah, the mounting could have been a little better. Now, let's talk about the wires. So this is, as I said, all it comes with. Now, right off the bat, there's something very interesting about these lights. If you look inside each of these little pods where there are 6 LEDs, so each diode in here is not placed in the center of each cone. They're a little bit offset, and it doesn't really look like there's a particular reason for any of them to be in any particular position that they're in. They're just not set in as centered as I think they could be. We'll see if that impacts performance at all. I'm not sure if it will. The reflector cones around each diode should disperse light nicely anyway. If it is indeed a floodlight, then it shouldn't matter all that much, but it's something to take note of. Now, for our methodology, we are going to solder and shrink wrap every single connection, because if you're not doing that, you're kind of doing it wrong. Now, yes, you could do it other ways, but the most secure method, in my opinion, is solder and shrink wrap. So that's what we're going to be doing. All right, so we got some wires stripped. Let's get them soldered and shrink wrapped. That connection's not going anywhere. We slide our shrink wrap over the connection. We're going to do it old school. There's better ways to do this, obviously, but working with what we got. And like that, we've got ourselves one of our various soldered and shrink wrapped connections. Let's give it the gas. All right, so that's our red wire. Let's do the black wire. One more time. All right, so we now have one completed set for the lights. All we got to do now is hook them up to one of the 9006 connections that I have and see if it turns on. So this is how it's going to work. I've got this aftermarket bracket that goes over the license plate where I can mount these things. Now they're not mounted properly right now. And then we got the wire coming from here. It'll route and plug into the 9006 power connection that are usually used for my fog lights. So instead of having fog lights, we'll have these floodlights. Alright, so there's the connection we have to our factory wiring harness going all the way to our lights. Let's give it a shot. Alright, and we have lights coming out of our auxiliary lights now. So it is worth noting once again, positive and negative connections. I had to flip this around. That's one of the things about 9006, 9005 connections, is they can kind of flip around either which way. So in this case, even though this little clipping notch at the top would have fit well with the little plastic thing at the bottom here, it didn't work out that way. So we had to flip it around. So keep that in mind. I'm going to grind that down so that way it's not bulging into this piece of plastic here, but we have proven that this simple light-up connection does indeed work. So let's go ahead, get the other ones on, and try it out on the road. Okie doke, just to make sure we got everything nice and secured on this little mounting bracket. Now, the last thing you would really realistically need to do here is either route the wire, but also make sure to loom the wire. Have a nice protection over this, because you don't really want it exposed if you can avoid it. You know, dangling around, you might get caught on something or have some abrasions here and there. So a loom will help protect that. And also, once you get the set up in the direction where you want to go, you can, you know, tidy up the ends and make sure everything is nice and cozy. All right, so now we have both lights wired up, going to the connections that used to be my fog lights, and they're both lit up. And of course, both of the plugs are upside down because that's just how the wiring was. So yeah, at least I know which end is positive and negative now. I could reverse the plugs, but that's not necessary for right now. Moving forward, so we've got it mounted to the front here. Pretty bright, but we need to go out and see. Now keep in mind, using these things on the street is illegal. These are meant for off-road use only. In some states, you may have to cover these up entirely so that they cannot be used. But we have a stretch of road that we can use it on, so let's go ahead and try them out. Of course, this review would not be complete without a door test. Here we have my normal headlights, and let's go ahead and turn on the auxiliary lights we installed. Yeah, it's pretty bright. It definitely fills out. Obviously, it's not directional because it's a floodlight. That's good. That's what I wanted it for. Right here is a great area to show off just how uniform the light is and how far out it goes. So there's trees to the top of me, left and right. And you can see now that the trees are lit. So going on back and forth, you can see the difference. So they definitely output a good amount of light going down this road. Alright, so we are at one of my favorite spots for testing lights. I'm in a very dark area of the neighborhood where there's no outside lighting from like houses or street lights and stuff like that. So right now we have a pretty good picture of what it looks like without the lights on. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the lights. You notice they'll be brighter. And what you can't really see is the fact that the beam is wide. So my headlights are H1 projectors, so they're pretty directional. Having the floodlights allows it to fill up gaps where my headlights wouldn't normally shine. So you can see right there on the right, on that truck, going back and forth, how much light this stuff puts down. So the last thing I want to do is just get a little profile of the vehicle. That's definitely bright. Alright, so at this point, I've got to give my final conclusion. Are these any good? The short answer is yes, they are good because they do exactly what they were designed to do. Create a floodlight. Now, that's perfect for a variety of scenarios, which I've personally been in. If you are in a backwoods area, a country road, going off the beaten path, that kind of situation, these are great because the color temperature is somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 Kelvin. It's got a nice, clean, crisp white. Better crispness than my HIDs from Morimoto, but that's a different story. The contrast from that really helps you pick out the small details from the far left to the far right and the up and the down, which is perfect for when you're in a backwoods area because should there be a rodent or a deer or something, it's going to be easier to see out of the corner of your eye if you've got better contrast. The brightness, yes, the brightness is there. You got to remember what type of lights these are. These are floodlights, not directional, so you can't expect them to beam straight down the road and give you that kind of luminosity. It's designed to spread out, and with that, these actually do quite well. Now, bear in mind, once again, when you get these, all you get is the lights themselves, the little mounting piece that allows you to connect it to a bracket, and the short piece of wire. That's all you get. Now, you get 2 of them, but that's all you get. And for these 2 little lights, that's not bad for what it's putting out luminosity-wise. You could get a big bar and put it across like that. I've seen people with the big bars that go all the way around. If you don't want such a heavy-duty setup, this actually ain't bad. So I'm going to give it a pass. I think, all things considered, they do exactly as advertised, and they do it pretty well. So with that being said, yeah, I recommend them. I think they're pretty good. A great starter set, and I'm actually quite happy with them. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope it was helpful. If it was, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, show your friends, check out my other videos. I got plenty of them. And as always, I'll see you next time. Drive safe.